Greetings YouTube and TF2 community, my name is Slavaskii and I'm your newest medic main to pocket and shove content up your asses. With the full rollout of competitive matchmaking on the horizon, I feel like it's an appropriate time to start my channel. Although my computer's quality is abysmal, although I can't say the same for its price, and my humor is essentially just memes, I hope you will still give me a chance at entertaining you. As a background about myself, my internet persona at least, I'm an avid TF2er and Civer who has slowly and painstakingly attempted to improve my gameplay over the past few years. I entered UGC Dumpster last year and got absolutely rolled, but it was a great experience and I loved it. TF2 has never failed to be exciting from the moment I picked it up, and I hope to share my joy with all of you. As far as Civ is concerned, I've blown over 1,700 hours into just sitting on my ass and sexually identifying as an irrelevant historic leader. But let's face it, none of you children are here to listen to my history fetish. You're here to hear me talk about our favorite FPS, Task Force 2. To get the ball rolling here and start off my series of commentaries, I think it's only proper to discuss the medic's role in competitive matchmaking. As of now. I say as of now because let's face it, matchmaking is yet to be a finished project. Although at this point, beta passes are falling harder than Ty Lopez's 30 seconds of fame, they're still beta passes and Valve can potentially change a lot in these few weeks, or hell even days. So while we still have the time, let's discuss how to properly play the German medical man in this stage of competitive play. The focus of every medic should be his arsenal, what Medi Gun he's carrying, his primary, and to an extent his melee. Official matchmaking is interesting because Valve took the knowledge of competitive item bans and essentially threw it down shit creek without a paddle, essentially completely disregarding them. As such, the Quickfix is allowed in 6s, and the Vitasaw makes a rather underwhelming return. In regards to the Medi Guns, there is simply put no best secondary at this point. Some people swear on the Quickfix like a Bible, and they often have very valid points. It allows the medic to keep up in the rollout and no longer straggle behind like in traditional 6s. Usually a few seconds after flying to mid, the medic will already have a Quickfix charge to counter the spam put out by the roamer and stray scouts. However, this immediately poses two problems to the Quickfix: its transportability and the versatility of its Uber. Let me explain my sacrilege here. The Quickfix has the ability to get you killed. Sure, you roll out incredibly fast, but if your pocket isn't especially mindful, he can fling you right into the path of a rocket, or two rockets in a scout, or fuck even the medic. Although this downside is simply negated by an abundance of caution, it's still worth noting that overextending is even more dangerous with the Quickfix and can lead to the medic orphaned. But the more noticeable downside comes in its Uber. Although it can save an entire team low on health and needing heals, it's often very underwhelming in a push. With an Uber obtained so quickly, the other med is more than likely to be able to counter-pop and turn the fight. As such, I recommend not worrying about saving your Uber. If your team is dying, pop it. You'll have another one up shortly, and you save time in the process. And please, if you see the other medic and they don't have charge, pop it on a class that can easily take him out. You don't want to deal with a Quickfix stalemate, so you want to capitalize on your advantage as much as possible. This brings us to the next question. Are the Medi Gun, Kritzkrieg, and Vaccinator viable at all? The answer is yes. Situationally. The stock Medi Gun has long been hailed as the most reliable. If you can build up a solid charge, there's nothing the enemy can do without sacrificing a point or two. But that's precisely the problem. Every other Medi Gun charges faster than the stock. The chances of staying alive, especially if their med has a quicker Uber, is extremely slim. I'd recommend only rolling the stock if you're stalemated and need an effective push, because although the Quickfix has a better healing rate, the stock has a larger overheal. And to quote a memorable man from a past game,
"Overheal is more than your gay rollout."
Now, you may say,
but the Kritzkrieg has overheal, charges faster than stock, and can easily win fights. Why not do that?
The answer is simple. It has no healing bonuses and relies on you having a competent team. One of the beauties of playing Medic is that, when you lose, you can tell your team to suck a fat one because you did your job well and they failed to deliver. Think of it like your sex life. If your partner can't do the do, you're screw the screw. The Kritzkrieg relies on the other team being unable to target you, and for your demo and soldiers to be good at spam. If these conditions aren't met, you simply are wielding the stock Medi Gun with a throwaway charge. I'm not saying the crits is entirely ineffective, it's hella fun to use. Again, it's situational, but it's perhaps the most unreliable on this list. This finally brings us to the Vaccinator, the good old Vax. I'll say this now, if the other team is rolling a Vax, you'll be hard-pressed not to run one yourself. Not because it's overpowered, because it's so damn hard to counter. The Vaccinator blocks virtually all forms of damage from your team, the soldier's rockets, the demo's pipes, the scout's meat shitter, etc. However, this comes at the hefty cost of an overhealed build rate, meaning that your damage resistance will have to take the place of that. From a medic's perspective, running the Vax is usually not my first choice, but seeing the other medic with it forces me to switch. Was it just spammable and segmented Uber? It gives the medic far more control over his patients. Although, in my opinion, it simply falls short in keeping the team alive. Although it's fantastic against hacking snipers. Because fuck them, that's why. In short, every Medi Gun for competitive is situational. As matchmaking evolves and continues to improve, who knows? We might be in store for weapon bans, or, as I'd like to believe and I feel would be the most logical for Valve, item reworks. Maybe the Quickfix will have an Uber rework, or the vaccinator changed not to just tank damage. At any rate, this commentary has gone long farther than I anticipated, but I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble in my seductive, pubescent voice. Take care, guys, and stay supercharged.